is the third episode of our podcast. Everything on this podcast is for jokes. Do not be offended.
Today we'll be talking about changes we want in the school, our favorite movies, our favorite folklore, and stories about each other. Also, we have a guest today, Sachai.
Hello.
And now, shut up and listen. So, changes in the school.
New principal. New principals.
Yeah, we keep having one every new year.
Yeah, I miss Mr. Larrabee.
I would like better food, more edible food.
The food's alright.
Yeah.
I feel like...
The food is pretty good, but Barrow food is magnificent.
How's it feel in Barrow?
I feel like the principal should have more control or, taking suggestions. Because, there's stuff happening, and, people tell the principal about stuff, hoping that she'll, do something about it, but she doesn't do it. He, she, depending who it is.
She kind of just hangs around without doing anything.
Yeah. Patrols the hallway, telling us not to walk the halls. She doesn't do it as often, but when she does, it's
Yeah, if you're going to do that, just be the hall monitor, not the principal.
Right? Anything else to try? You want to change in school? Just the food?
Just the food.
That's understandable.
Okay. Favorite movies?
Favorite movies? Oh,
Tries are all horror movies.
Yeah, I got a lot of scary movies, Scary movies, action-filled movies, sometimes.
My personal favorite is A Quiet Place.
That's a good movie. I like Godzilla movies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Great movie request, Godzilla Final Wars.
I haven't
Suggest you go watch
yet.
that.
I bet you Sachai has a Godzilla action figure in his locker right now.
Want me to go grab it?
No.
Okay. I told you.
I don't have a favorite movie, but I have movies that I
Disney.
like partially.
Disney.
Partially.
Disney.
I like other movies, but most of them, yes, are Disney. But I just can't do horror movies.
Ratatouille.
I don't watch that hardly enough.
I know you do, man. I like a big
She finds it very relatable.
What? I do not.
relatable knife.
If I had to say a favorite movie, I don't know. I don't have, a favorite movie or favorite songs or, a song artist, I like a variety of stuff. Folklore, anyone?
I like anything that has to do with the Appalachian Mountains.
Appalachian?
Appalachian.
Okay.
The Skinwalkers, Wendigos, stuff like that.
Okay. I feel like the one that's, the most creepy that I feel like people are making up is Bigfoot. Because,
How?
anyone can get in a fursuit and go walk around in the woods and have their friend take a bad picture of them.
Honestly, that's just the least creepy then. Most creepy has to be,
What's your favorite folklore?
I don't really have a favorite folklore.
You can go.
What's your favorite folklore?
I don't have one.
Alright. Let's go to stories now.
Yeah, stories. I'll go first. I have a couple here, but I'll just do one. So I was at Claire's house once, and we're having a sleepover. Our friends was there too. And at the time, they had this, little mattress for, kids' beds, And so we were so smart and decided to sit on it and ride down the stairs into, a pit of, blankets and pillows and stuff. And eventually, after doing that a couple times, the mattress started to rip. The front of it started to rip, so we had to stop. Then,
How does one rip a mattress?
well, there was me, Claire, Manasseh, Miles, and Emma,
Makes sense
all going
now.
down a steep slope.
Yeah, that makes more
And it was
sense
just,
now.
at the front, so we had to stop.
Does that anyways.
Some 14-year-old girls
Yeah, that
who
makes
have
sense.
access to a mattress and a staircase.
I think I'll go next. So this story has been told a couple of times by me or Waylon sometimes. But so a year or two ago, me and all the guys were gaming, right? And Waylon, he said he'll be right back. He was going to go get some spaghetti. And I decided I wanted some spaghetti. So I told everyone I'd be back on in 10, 15 minutes. And then I told my grandparents that Waylon invited me over to get some spaghetti really quick. So
Complete lie.
Shut up. I went over to his house, right? And, no one was there. I walked into the back door. His dogs didn't even notice me walk in. I took his spaghetti. I went home, and then I got back on, and I started eating. And I'm like, hey boys, I'm back. I just had to get some spaghetti for dinner. I started eating it, and then Waylon's like, hold on boys, I'm gonna go get a second tray of spaghetti. After a minute or two, we hear yelling, and he comes back upstairs. He's like, "My spaghetti is gone. It's gone. I don't know where it went. It just disappeared."
Poof.
And I'm just sitting there eating spaghetti, acting surprised. Like, "Oh, wow, really?" Meanwhile, I'm just sitting there eating his spaghetti, and yeah, he has not let that go since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next day, I was like, wait a minute.
Was that you?
Wait. Guess I'll go next now. What story should I tell? So, how did that start, anyways?
It was on 4th of July. You invited
yeah.
me and Trey over, and then
Robert just kind of
Robert just showed up.
Yeah, he just
He
kind
does
of
that.
He
joined.
just walked up the stairs and appeared, and we all.
And we started playing Call of Duty Mobile together, and everybody was cussing, and
Mainly me.
yeah, you and Robert mainly. And soon enough, my mom texted me, "Stop cussing." And I look directly at Sachai and was like, "Sachai, stop it."
I'm like, "Oh, my bad, bro." And about 5 minutes later, I just say like a whole 10 seconds of just cussing because I died for like the 9th time in a row. And then I hear, "Waylon, stop." And he looks at me, he's like, "Sachai, stop it." I'm like, "Oh, my bad."
Dang, Sachai, you gotta get me in trouble. And yeah, the rest of the time we just played Call of Duty Mobile together. Eventually my mom goes to the store and yeah.
As soon as she left, I was back at it.
Yeah, because that's how Sachai works.
I got one more story. So while we were all in a lock-in, Waylon brought his Xbox. And we all decided to play a game. It was Mortal Kombat. The thing was, I've never played Mortal Kombat before, right? So I kept choosing different characters that sounded cool, right? And I kept fighting Waylon and fighting Waylon and fighting Waylon, and I just got so close to beating him. And then finally, I chose Sub-Zero, and I beat him one time. I started freaking out. I was absolutely losing it. I was like, "Yep!" I just won one game.
And then I chose my favorite character.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I just get hit by a giant hammer. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
I think it was Genghis Khan or whatever his name was.
Shao Kahn.
Yeah, Shao Kahn. Yeah. Yeah,
You
close enough.
You should tell him the story of when you and I played that one fighting game.
Oh
at
yeah,
your
we
house.
were playing Tekken 7.
What game did you? What was his name?
The guy you made was Brian, I
Yeah,
think.
Brian.
And I play him.
You played this one giant buff guy.
Yeah.
I remember I won as Brian. I'm like, "Oh yeah," and all I see for the winning intro was just me on top of Wayla, just
I thought it was you grabbing a pipe.
right. One was just grabbing a pipe and dragging it.
I think one was your special move, and it was some Street Fighter against a pro boxer. So that was funny because
Yeah.
it would go back and forth between us winning.
Okay, change the topic from video games. When I was like, I don't know, whatever age babies start crawling, I was at my babysitter's, right? And she had her curling irons there. They were heating up. Now, I don't remember this because obviously I was the baby, but I was told this story many times. And so my babysitter had the curling irons heating up, right? And me, crawling around, goes up to one of them, pulls the cord, hot. Curling iron rolls down my leg, like fully. And I still have a scar to this day. It's like kind of on my foot, like ankle, and then like the top of my foot a little. It really shows up more when I've gotten like a lot of sun. Like when we went to Florida and I came back and my burn was showing more.
Yeah, I have a pretty good story about scars too. So one day I go to I might have already told this one, I don't remember, but I trip on the stairs and I fall directly onto the grate. Massive chunk taken out my knee. I have a scar there now.
Ow.
I remember once. This is a good story. Not really. Once on your birthday, you invited us all over for a game, right? And like
Oh.
everyone was there. The Kaysen and Colton.
Kaysen?
I don't know,
You
I
mean
forgot his
Carson?
name. Oh yeah, there he is. So, what happened was we were all having that snowball fight, right? And I grabbed a big piece of ice about like this big, you know, the size of my torso.
Yeah.
And I went, "Everyone look out, I'm throwing this backwards." And I go like this, and I throw it backwards. And all of a sudden I hear it colliding, and I hear something else hit the ground, and I hear, "Ah!" And it was because Carson's little brother was
Colton.
right behind me. Colton.
Carson is the younger brother.
Carson.
Yeah.
Right?
Carson got hit.
Yeah, he was the one who got hit. He was right behind me. He was like, ah! I'm like, bro, are you okay? He's like, ah! I'm like, I swear, I told you to move.
Then there was that one time at my other birthday party that you absolutely got decimated by some snow off the roof.
All right, what happened was I shut the garage door and I hear some rumbling. I look up and all the snow on the roof was coming down on me. So I like pinned up against the wall. It was like all just brushing against my shoulder. I'm just sitting there like, ooh! And then I like right after it all fell, after like 30 seconds of it falling, I go back into the garage shaking and your mom's like, what happened? Are you okay? I'm like, snow fell off the roof. Oh, were you under that?
No. I was on the other side of the garage at the
All
time.
Waylon hears is rumbling.
I
Playing
heard
hide and
bang! And
Yeah.
I was like, huh, what was that? Oh, well, that can't be good.
Weren't you playing hide and seek?
No, we were playing them. Technically, it was hide and seek with Nerf guns.
Oh,
Yeah.
so like hide and seek tag.
Kind of.
You,
Okay.
me, Trey, and Claire did laser tag.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was kind of late at night too. So
Yeah, it was dark out, so we could just see a glow. I buried myself in the snow, and all of a sudden Claire walks by, and I jump out. I'm like, gotcha! Bang, bang, bang.
On the topic of scars, even though we were past it just a little bit, I was at my mom's friend's house and they had like a chocolate lab kind of dog, you know, and so I was gonna go play outside with the kids, little kids, and I run past their dog, and out of the corner of my eye, I see the dog jump up and like go towards my face, like where my ear is and my shoulder, and so I'm like all worried. I'm like, did he get my ear? So I went back inside. And one of the little kids was in there. I was like, "Hey, is there blood coming out of my ear?" And he was like, "What?" So I went to the bathroom and I took my hand off my ear and there was just like a big drop of blood about to fall. I was like, I grabbed my ear. I went to my mom. I was like, "Mom, something happened." And I like moved my hand. It was all bloody. And so we went to the kitchen and my mom and her friend put like a wet paper towel on my ear. And turns out my earlobe was cut open. Not like cut off, but like cut open at the bottom. And so we went to the clinic and they're like, all right, we're going to put this glue on. It's going to sting. And so they're putting it on. It's not stinging. It's rather cold than stinging. And then it's like a purple. And later that summer, I was in the pool and I was wearing a Band-Aid and the Band-Aid came off and I just saw the piece of glue floating away in the water.
Oh, God!
The dog also ripped my jacket that I was
Hey, Waylon, you should tell this story of when you heard me in the hospital getting a shot.
Oh yeah, we were like 8 at the time, weren't we? Or maybe 6 or 7, and I'm at the hospital to get my vaccinations, and I see Sachai walk in. I'm like, oh, what's up? And he goes into the doctor's room, and all I hear is, oh my god, ah! I just hear the most blood curdling screams ever, like little girl screams, bro.
Okay.
I'm like, Jesus, what's going on? Is he getting surgery in there? And I walk, and I see Sachai walk out, like, shaking, with a Band-Aid on his arm, like, well, that's definitely not threatening.
Oh, so once my grandma took me in to get my shots, right? You know, when you have to get multiple shots. So I was only supposed to get 3 shots, 2 in one arm and 1 in one arm. And I was like panicking the whole time. So then they had they had a couple police officers walk in and tell me they'd have to hold me down if I wasn't complying. Right? So I was like, just get it over with. I held my arms, and they did 2 shots in one arm and 1 shot in the other one. And then we're done. Right when we're about to leave, they're like, wait a minute. We did one of the shots in the wrong arm. You got to come back. I'm like, what? Yeah, you got to get one more. Oh, come on. So I got one more, and I was like crying again. I was like,
So, when I was younger, some random new doctor decided it would be great to practice his shots on me. I had to get 1 in each arm, and he couldn't find the vein, like the noob doctor he is.
He's like, I wonder where it is. I'm gonna go here then.
And after like 3 times in each arm, I'm like, all right, that's it. If you try that one more time, I'm going to sock you in the mouth. So they bring in a professional doctor, and they get it on the first try. I was very fed up at that point, because I have 4 holes in each arm now.
Ow!
I'm like, all right, I want to go home. I want to play my games, and I want to relax for the rest of the day. Got that?
Yeah. I remember. When I was young, I only had a few cavities in my life, right? And they were all fixable, except one. It was on my baby tooth in the back of my mouth, and it had to be pulled. And I got numbed about 5 times in that spot, and then they gave me one more. They're like, all right, this one's like 10 times as strong as the others. I'm like, why you give? I give me all the other ones then. I was all droopy, but what I said was, why did you give me all the other normal ones and not just a couple of those? And they're like, well, we can't give you too much of this. You could die. I'm like, oh, okay. And then they said, all right, this shouldn't hurt a bit. After waiting like an hour for all to kick in, I was sitting there. I was all droopy mouth. I was like drooling. I could barely talk. And they're like, all right, it's time to pull your tooth. And I'm holding my grandpa's thumb. I'm like crushing that thing, you know? And then all of a sudden they pulled my tooth. And it hurt so bad. I started screaming and screaming. I'm like, ah! Ah! You know, the whole time I'm still holding my grandpa's thumb. He's just sitting there like, ah! And then like finally it all calms down. And we go to the store and my grandma's like, all right, what do you want to eat? I'm like, chips. She's like, no, you're getting ice cream. And then after, when my grandpa got home, I was wondering what he was doing. He was at the counter looking at his hand. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, this. And he shows me his thumb, and his thumb is looking dead. And it's like all purple and like crunched up. And apparently I was like just breaking his thumb.
Well, we're about out of time. Thank you, Sachai, for coming on our podcast. Maybe we'll have you again sometime. So you have good stories.
Thanks for listening to the podcast.
Tune in next time for episode 4.
Yes, sir.
Now shut up and leave.